gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Well, we begin this afternoon with a desperate and emotional plea from the family of Seikeya Jones.
I see on the news, my daughter's in a suitcase. Where do we do this at? So somebody has to give me some type of answers.
Well, you'll have the latest on the 31-year-old mother discovered earlier this week, stuffed in a suitcase and dumped in a wooded area in Huntington. And good afternoon, I'm David Navarro.
And I'm Liz Cho, and her family is now desperate for answers about what led to her death and hoping someone will now come forward with information.
Long Island reporter Shantae lands in Huntington with an update on this disturbing story. Shantae.
Well, David and Liz, the mother and sisters of Seikeya Jones, say that she loved music, to dance, and would help anyone. And today, they're asking for your help to help find her killer. Long hugs by a devastated family grieving the loss of Huntington native, 31-year-old Seikeya Jones.
This is my first time here because it's making my stomach turn. Like I feel her. Like I feel like I can feel her.
Her life snubbed. Her body found in a suitcase Tuesday, left in a wooded area outside of an apartment building on New York Avenue down the road from where she grew up.
Wow. So you have a woman whose body is found in a suitcase, and man, it's just like when you think things can't get any worse, okay? This is what feels like an attack on the community, where you have countless stories over and over again of black women being deleted. And, you know, we need to really address what is going on here before we come to a point of no return. So, this story is going to blow your mind. We're going to get into it, and it's not going to be pretty.
Unfortunately, just unfortunately, we cannot help her get a hold of her mental illness. And with this being said, that does not give anybody the right to put their hands on my sister.
So it looks like maybe there were drugs involved. Maybe she was an addict and suffered from the addiction of some type of illicit drug. She's calling it a mental illness, but you have to be able to read between the lines. And that's extremely unfortunate, because drug abuse is significantly affecting all of America, but specifically the community. I believe we've had over 300,000 deaths from just fentanyl in the United States. And this is something that's happening annually. So very serious topic.
And put her in a suitcase and stuff her inside of this bushes like she was nothing.
The pain still raw for her sisters. Jones's mother, Yolanda Terrell, says she was reported missing 3 weeks ago.
I'm looking and I can't find her. And I come back from vacation and I see on the news, my daughter's in a suitcase. Where do we do this at? So somebody has to give me some type of answers.
With no arrests and cause of death, this family yearns for closure. Seikeya Jones leaves behind a 4-year-old son named Christian.
Whatever information that you guys have, please come forward and help us. So that way her son, Christian, can have an explanation to what happened to his mother.
And you can see this teddy bear and flowers left at this site. There will be a vigil held in her honor tonight at 7 p.m. Meanwhile, Suffolk County Police, giving very few details on a possible suspect, motive or arrests. Live in Huntington, Shantae Lands, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Big break in a mystery on Long Island after a woman's body was found in a suitcase. The family of 31-year-old Seikeya Jones says police have made an arrest. Her body was found earlier this week in Huntington. She leaves behind a 4-year-old son. Suffolk County police have not confirmed any details about the arrest.
And the man police say stuffed and hid a woman's body inside a suitcase in Huntington faced a judge this afternoon.
31-year-old Ronald Schroeder faces several.
Woo! So you see him right here. Definitely a tweaker. Can't really see his face in this picture, but he's a tweaker. You can see the thin frame. The hair looks matted up in places. And I mean, this is getting wild. You have this glider gremlin here who most likely was tweaked out on drugs. You know, they're alluding to other things that he might have done with this woman. And maybe they were partners in crime when it comes to taking these drugs, but he had no right to take her life and then stuffing her in a suitcase just to add insult to injury. This is how you know that he didn't value her life at all. And we have a violence epidemic going on in this country. Crime is through the roof from all communities. Usually we do focus on the black community, but this is a black community story since it involves a black woman. And I really just don't see any type of notoriety of this case. I don't see any type of highlighting of this case. If ever there was a moment for Black Lives Matter to come out and say, hey, you know, we got to stand for this woman, I don't see anybody talking about this case. And maybe it could be interpreted as inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, just another overdose. But obviously this man is being charged with her death or in connection to her death. So, man, I'm interested to really get the details of what went on.
Ronald Schroeder faces several charges, including concealment of a human corpse. In criminal court today, prosecutors revealed disturbing new details about what police discovered as officers brought him into custody. Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu has the story.
Family members of Seikeya Jones left a courtroom in Central Islip Saturday afternoon, distraught after learning the details about how the 31-year-old's body was found. Eyewitness News was there as the suspect, Ronald Schroeder, was walked out of a police precinct Saturday morning. The 31-year-old accused of hiding Jones's body in a suitcase, which was found in Huntington on Tuesday. According to the public defender, he was not able to be in the courtroom for his arraignment due to an airborne medical condition. Prosecutors say date rape and other illegal drugs were found on Schroeder, and that Jones was found in the fetal position with black cords around her wrist.
Now that is wild. And maybe those markings are from sticking needles in or being wrapped, bound, if you will. So this is not looking good. And this guy obviously had all the potions, had all the drugs, and man, it's just a horrible situation, and what he did to this woman is despicable. These glider gremlins are on demon time.
A bungee cord was also wrapped around a suitcase.
Somebody has to give me some type of answers.
Jones's family spoke to Eyewitness News on Friday while visiting the wooded area near an apartment building where she was found. They reported her missing 3 weeks ago.
We cannot help her get a hold of her mental illness. And with this being said, that does not give anybody the right to put their hands on my sister and put her in a suitcase and stuff her inside of this bushes like she was nothing.
Jones leaves behind a 4-year-old son named Christian. Schroeder is due back in court on September 12th. Janice Yu, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
Now to that breaking news on Long Island. Suffolk County Police have arrested a man in connection with the young woman's remains found inside a suitcase in Huntington. Derek Waller has been following the story. He's in the newsroom now with the breaking details. Derek?
And Jessica, I just got off the phone with Suffolk County Police, who tell me that they have now arrested 31-year-old Ronald Schroeder of Huntington, but they actually found him tonight, or this afternoon actually, at Penn Station. And so far he's charged with 1 count of concealment of a human corpse and could be arraigned as early as tomorrow morning. Now, as we mentioned earlier tonight, there was a candlelight vigil for the young woman who was killed, Seikeya Jones, and earlier I did speak with her heartbroken mother.
Nobody deserved that. She was a human being just like everybody else.
Yolanda Terrell vowing to seek justice for her daughter, 31-year-old Seikeya Jones. Friends, family, and neighbors lit candles and shared words of support behind this Nassau Road apartment building.
So this is exactly why you have to be careful with who you call your friends, who you doing these drugs with. I promise you, these people are not your friends. You know, if they are encouraging you to do drugs that are self-harming, they're not your friends, and they are all for self-preservation. You know, we have to understand that as a community, when situations like this go down, you're not going to get no press. Even the black community hasn't said anything about this. I haven't heard anything about it. And this would be a prime election year case, but instead it's just, you know, falling on deaf ears. There's really not much information about this story and the ongoings and how this really happened. But all I can say is when you are out here in these streets and you're doing drugs with people you really don't know and dealing with these people over your family, you're going to make mistakes. And when those mistakes happen, these people are not going to bail you out. They're not going to try and help you out in any way. They're going to do what's best for them. And to him, it was concealing the body, concealing the evidence, putting it in a suitcase to try and distance himself from her death.
Where on Tuesday, police found Seikeya's remains inside a suitcase. Investigators had been seen in the apartment building interviewing neighbors.
I didn't appreciate her being thrown up there, and I'm going to make sure whoever did this get held accountable.
Seikeya was one of 5 siblings and a mother to a 4-year-old little boy. She grew up down the street from here, a graduate of Huntington High School. Tiffany White just spoke to her 2 weeks ago.
Whenever she saw somebody that was down, she tried to bring them up. She's the type of person that would give you the shirt off her back, and to see something like this happen to so horrific, it's like she didn't deserve that.
Now the scene of the crime transformed into this beautiful tribute to a young woman taken too soon.
I really do pray that she gets the justice that she needs.
And again, the breaking news tonight, an arrest has been made in that case. 31-year-old Ronald Schroeder. He could be arraigned as early as tomorrow morning in Suffolk County. In the newsroom, Derek Waller, CBS News, New York. Jessica?
Breaking just moments ago, police walking out the man who's been arrested and charged in the case of 31-year-old Seikeya Jones. Her body was found earlier this week in a suitcase in the woods of Huntington in Suffolk County. Let's get to Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis, who's been there all morning long in Bayshore with the latest developments. Marcus, did he say anything as he was being escorted out?
Did not, Pedro, and for the family, this comes as a small measure of consolation. Yesterday, a vigil for Seikeya Jones, and today, an arrest and an arraignment in this case. So, as you've been mentioning just a few moments ago, that suspect led out of the 3rd precinct here, 31-year-old Ronald Schroeder of Huntington led out of the 3rd precinct. He was arrested yesterday in Penn Station and is now on his way to court. The arrest comes after the remains of Seikeya Jones found in that suitcase in bushes near an apartment complex. Yesterday, members of the victim's family, including her 4-year-old son, were at the location. The family had reported Jones missing August 16th, and this a painful end to their search.
I'm looking and I can't find her. And I come back from vacation and I see on the news my daughter's in a suitcase. Where do we do this at? So somebody has to give me some type of answers.
And yeah, this woman deserves answers, and hopefully you can pry it out of this guy who seems to be perpetually intoxicated. Man, it's just going to be tough getting the truth out of this situation, but I hope everything is uncovered.
Well, the exact cause of death has not yet been determined. That will likely factor into additional charges. As of now, Schroeder is only charged with concealment of a human corpse and also the arrest for an outstanding warrant. He is to be arraigned later today, this morning, in Central Islip. Live in Bayshore, Marcus Solis, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
On Long Island, police have released the identity of a woman whose body was found in a suitcase earlier this week. The remains of 31-year-old Seikeya Jones were found in that suitcase in a wooded area on Tuesday. News 4's Greg Sergel is live in Huntington Station with the latest for us. Greg?
And Gilma, once police identified that body in a suitcase, those who knew the woman began stopping here along this busy Huntington Station street with memories and a lot of questions about a life that ended in mysterious circumstances. Mary Waldron stopped today near this wooded area in Huntington Station, the spot where her longtime friend's body was found on Tuesday.
We called her Kia, and she was a really sweet girl. She's always smiling, you know, she was always happy.
Suffolk police say 31-year-old Seikeya Jones was homeless, a young woman her friends said had struggled in life.
She had run into some trouble. You know, and she changed, and she was kind of out in the streets. But we all kept tabs on her, you know, always making sure she was still good.
Jones was reported missing last month. Not the first time that's happened, her friends said. Today, however, police confirmed.
So it sounds like, you know, she was consistently inconsistent, and she was bringing a lot of pain to her family out here in these streets doing these drugs. And the only likely scenario ended up happening. Now, I'm not victim blaming, but what we have to do is realize that the decisions that we make ultimately result in maybe tragic events occurring to us. And that is extremely unfortunate. But like I said, if this woman had overdosed or anything, or if he even caused the overdose, like by pushing her to do more drugs, anything like that, you know, he should have rendered aid instead of taking her body and bounding it, stuffing it into a suitcase. That's cruel. That's selfish. It's disgusting. It's despicable. And this guy definitely deserves whatever comes to him legally, and hopefully he is prosecuted to the full extent of the law and they're able to find out exactly what happened and add more charges. We don't know exactly, you know, what went on, but I know for damn sure that these glider gremlins are on demon time.
Confirmed, Jones' remains had been stuffed in a suitcase and left outside this Huntington Station apartment building.
This is just, it's disgusting, you know, and she's from this town. It's like, this is her home. it's unbelievable, you know.
How Jones died, police say, has yet to be determined. But residents of the apartment building showed us this doorbell video of a woman, two people identified as Jones, inside that apartment building last week with an unidentified man.
It was her coming up here with him Friday night, walking up the stairs together.
Police have yet to say if any of this is connected to Jones' death. Today, someone left a rock near where Jones' remains were found. It reads, "Hope is being able to see light despite the darkness."
She just loved life. She was always so happy. She didn't deserve to go out like this.
Seikeya Jones' family were among those who stopped here today, but they declined comment. Again, Suffolk police have said little today beyond identifying Jones' body. Again, the medical examiner is still trying to determine exactly how she died. We're in Huntington Station. Greg Sergel, News 4 New York.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Anyway.
So it is what it is.